Hi now. This is Andy Korodeski with the Cellarmasters of Los Angeles Home Winemaking Club, and this is July's edition of What to Do in the Vineyard. And so, as you can see, my grapes are doing really amazing this year. This particular vine here is Grenache, and the size of these clusters is just massive. I've been able to if you look at some of my previous videos, you can see that I leaf pulled, and by leaf pulling, that really opened up the fruiting zone so that I could get a lot of spray in there for powdery mildew, and the grapes look fantastic. And right next to the Grenache is my Vionnet, and the Vionnet looks wonderful as well. I'm not really seeing any disease pressure. Grapes are the same as Vionnet usually is, which is smaller and looser, so that also looks wonderful. And then over here on this side is my Syrah, and as you can see, these Syrah grapes also look just amazing. So things are really progressing well here in the vineyard. One part that if I back up here, you can see is how overgrown a lot of canopy is. And so I did a video previously about a month ago on hedging, and I will have to hedge again soon, probably tonight or tomorrow. And so one of the reasons though why I left why I didn't hedge sooner is that I really want to try to figure out when I need to start irrigating and how much I need to start irrigating. So yeah, it's July, sorry, and I have never waited this long to irrigate. We had some really late rains here in California this year, and so I've been holding off on irrigating. The issues with irrigating too much is that you'll get too much canopy, and it'll affect the flavors of the grapes in a negative way. And obviously, if you irrigate too little, you could ruin the crop or kill the vines. You know, it's bad to obviously irrigate too little. And so there are ways to figure out when you should start irrigating. The good ways, the smart ways, are scientific. They're soil meters, so they're meters that are in the soil, and they measure the moisture that's in the soil. And then there are other meters which you can put the leaves of the vine into. And these meters will measure how difficult it is for the vines to pull water from the ground, for the leaves to pull water from the ground. And that's actually the best and most scientific way of going about it. I don't have either or any of those measuring abilities. So what I am doing or attempting to do is look at the vines themselves, sort of like a vine whisperer, and decide whether or not I need to water. And so let's look first at my Grenache. So here's my Grenache. These are the growing shoots, as you can see. These have they have some tendrils, maybe a couple inches past the growing tip, and the same over here, and the same over here, and actually these don't really have any tendrils at all, and so that's how they look. So in vines, when there's tons of water, these growing tips will continue to grow and grow very long and have very long tendrils. For example, here is a tendril from my Vionnet. So the difference between the Vionnet and the Grenache, you can see the difference between the growth rates. So and at this point in time, when we're a month or so past fruit set, the difference in these growth rates is due to the water requirements in the vine and whether it's getting the water that it needs. So as you can see, the Grenache is slowed down quite a bit. The growing tips have slowed down quite a bit. The Vionnet has really not slowed down much at all. And then over here for the Syrah, you can see that it doesn't look nearly as vigorous as the Vionnet, but not as devigored as the Grenache. And so My choice now is, it's going to be hot for the next week or so, next solid week or so, and I need to decide whether I'm going to water and what I'm going to do. And I just, in the past couple of minutes that I've been out here walking through the vineyard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to water the Grenache itself. It needs water for sure, so I'm going to actually hand water this with a couple of gallons of water each day for a couple of days, and hopefully really get that root zone wet and make sure the vine doesn't dry out too much. I doubt it would if I didn't water it, but I'm just going to make sure. And I'm going to hold off on both the Vionnet and the Syrah until they kind of look like they need it, until they slow down, until the growing tips slow down more. So that's my decision here in the vineyard. That's what I'm going to do. It was a pleasure seeing all of you again, and I hope this was helpful.